in every town across the National Football League. It's always about the quarterback. That's just the way the game is played these days in the National Football League. Well, our very own Derrick Gunn stirred up a hornet's nest yesterday by reporting that in conversation with someone around the Eagles, and Derrick did not specify if it was an Eagle player, an Eagle coach, an Eagle front office personnel person. He did not give any further depth than I was. Hour number 2 on a Tuesday edition of Verse 365. Mullen and McDonald here with you. Appreciate you streaming in with us on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. Thank Mike Gill for hopping on. Thank in advance Mark Farzetta, who's going to join us coming up in about 20 minutes from now. Johnny Mac, this show is an opinion-based show. You've got yours, I've got mine. And when we get guests on, we ask them theirs. We'll certainly do that with Mark Farzetta about 20 minutes from now, and they don't always match up. And at this stage of the year, 2 weeks before camp opens up, we're all doing a whole heck of a lot of projecting. That's part of what is fun about an upcoming season is you're thinking, you know what somebody's going to do. First of all, what the team's going to do overall, but then on an individual basis, how good a player is going to be, how shaky could be if they're in a starting position, what effect it can have on whether the team's going to win or lose games. And yours and my opinions don't always match up. You're a little higher on Jordan Davis than I am. I'm a little higher on Nakobe Dean than you are. Two rookies who are coming into the Eagles, and we'll see how big an effect they have right off the bat when they jump into the lineup. And then there's the quarterback position, which is always the number one topic each and every single year, every single team. It's not like, oh, my God, they talk so much about Jalen Hurts. Oh, they talk about the starting quarterback this much in every town across the National Football League. It's always about the quarterback. That's just the way the game is played these days in the National Football League. Well, our very own Derrick Gunn stirred up a hornet's nest yesterday by reporting that in conversation with someone around the Eagles, and Derrick did not specify if it was an Eagle player, an Eagle coach, an Eagle front office personnel person. He did not give any further depth than I was talking to someone about the Eagles. And this person decided to say that in a 10-play session in the Eagles practice, which I said this last night on WIP, and you can please confirm this for me, John McMullen, because you were there, I was not. I wouldn't even call what the Eagles have done the last couple of months practice. It's not a practice. It's a gathering. It's a drill. Yeah. It's not a practice. When you never actually put 11 players out there on the field against 11 other players, then it's not a practice. It's workouts. It's not even practice. And in D. Gunn's quote, he said he used the word practice, which I doubt highly, that in a 10-play session that Jalen Hurts had three INTs, 4 incompletes, and 3 sacks. You were there, and I know they probably had a couple of reps and or drills that you might not have been able to see, Johnny Mac. It's 7-on-7. Yeah. Could Jalen Hurts possibly have been as bad as Derrick Gunn quoted someone to have said?
Here's a couple things, and I'm glad you brought this up, Jody, because I want to make this clear. People get, they hear what they want to hear. I think Derrick said that on his show. And Derrick can speak for himself. He's got his own show, and he's got his pulpit. And he's an opinion based. He was not reporting this. I think people take it off he was just saying on his talk show what someone had told him. And I think people got caught in the weeds of what you just said, the description, 10 plays of, whatever it was, 3 interceptions, 4 incompletions, 3 sacks. And then, it's not possible in the format that they have. The important part to me was later when he said, some people in the Eagles organization, and I'm paraphrasing, could have been one, are uncomfortable with Jalen Hurts. I think that's true. That's 100% true. Derek's not making stuff up. Derek's been doing this for a long time. Now, somebody who knew contacted somebody who knows contact that didn't happen. First of all, let me give you an example of why this didn't happen. That's getting in the weeds. There were 2 practices open to the media, and the Eagles are, as you said, Jody, are only running 7-on-7s. Okay. The first practice, and I had tipped Elliott Shore-Parks because he pays attention to this stuff. He's nuts. And by the way, ESP, congratulations. He just got married. So we give him that hat tip. And also Hunter Brody. I'm going down a rabbit hole. He's getting married. So congratulations to another friend, Hunter Brody. But the first practice, Hurts was 10 of 11 in 7-on-7 drills. 10 of 11, Jody. 2 things there. He had 11 total reps. Okay. Nobody has 10 reps in a row in practice. You rotate through the quarterbacks. Gardner Minshew had 7 reps. Carson Strong had 2 reps. The Eagles practiced for 45 stinking minutes. Nobody's got 10 reps in a row. That's number one. The second practice, he was 10 of 14. 7-on-7s are tilted towards the offense to succeed. 10 of 14, by the way, not that good.
Yeah, it
wasn't that sharp.
Okay.
Wasn't that sharp in the second day. So people get down into the weeds of these things, and look, that kind of stuff is not. And I think it was Mike Garafolo who said last week on the show, we don't play football in the spring. That was his guy. You're not playing football. So good or bad, I'm sure Jalen Hurts had bad OTA practices where we weren't there. He had one good one when I was there and one mediocre one when I was there. I'm sure he had a bad one when I wasn't there. That's part of the process. Like a spring training pitcher, you work on some things and all of a sudden you get rocked and people are like, ooh, so-and-so gave up 9 runs in the citrus league. Who cares? He's probably working on a curveball, slider, whatever. Quarterbacks do the same things. That part of it's not an issue. The part of it that's an issue, and again, I think people got too much in the weeds about 3 interceptions and 4 incompletions and 3 sacks, and you don't even take sacks. You just blow the whistle. And if you can't get the football out of your hands in a 7-on-7, well, yeah, then there's an issue. There are people in that building that are uncomfortable with Jalen Hurts as the starting quarterback. And that's why we're having these discussions all the time. And by the way, and I say this, the Eagles did a very good job of making people forget. They were trying to get better, whether you believe it or not. And I'm not talking to you, Jody. I'm talking to the fans. Whether you believe it or not, they wanted stinking Russell Wilson, and they were going to have the conversation with Deshaun Watson. Now, I believe they wouldn't have gone where Cleveland went contract-wise, but that's just my belief. They were going to have the stinking conversation if he would listen to them. They wanted to get better at the quarterback position. Now, it's also fair to point out, and I try to point this out as well, they didn't want Baker Mayfield. They don't want Jimmy Garoppolo, who you could argue are slight upgrades at the quarterback position. So they do like Jalen Hurts, but they do have question marks. And there are people in that building who are uncomfortable. And instead of worrying about some description, and who knows, maybe this is a former player and they're just hyperbole off the top of their head because he had a bad set of plays. That's not the issue. The issue is the bigger picture. That's how I would frame that story.
No, I'll defend those who are getting down in the weeds, and I love D Gunn as much as anybody, but if somebody said that to you, would you say that on your show?
No, I wouldn't for this reason, though, Jody, because I'm on practice and I know it's not possible to happen. I'm at practice every day, and I know that's not how practice works. And I know nobody's going to have 10 straight reps at the quarterback position. Now, maybe if you get deeper into training camp, and you're having a a dual practice with the Jets and you're doing team drills and you're doing a drive down the field. Maybe it would happen then,
Yeah.
but not in the off season, not on 7-on-7s. You just rotate reps and you rotate quarterbacks. So nobody is getting 10 straight reps to begin with in the off season. Certainly not with the Eagles. They don't have that many reps to be handing out willy-nilly. Sacks don't exist. You can just blow the whistle early. But again, I've seen Jalen Hurts, and I've been going to football practices for 28 years, Jody. I've seen Jalen Hurts in a lot of practices, and he's only been around a short time. He's not holding on to the football 3 times in 7-on-7 drills. I mean, it might happen occasionally, but not that. So no. So how I would have framed it is, all right, this whomever it is just trying to point out to me that he struggled badly, and I would just use the back end. People in the organization are uncomfortable with Jalen Hurts. That's what I would have done. But not everybody's at practice every day. So if you tell someone who's not used to going to practice, and I'm not saying I have no idea. I'm Derrick's not at practice every day. Maybe he doesn't know. I don't know. But to me, yeah, if someone tells me, well, that's not possible. And that's the text I got. Said, that's not possible in a more colorful way.
Right. And that's why I don't have a problem with anybody who's got a problem with the statement, because it was impossible. I get it. He's getting to an eventual point. And the most important point is, if Derrick's source is on point and in a position to put forth that strong an opinion and no other opinions of movers and shakers within the Eagles, the fact that the Eagles are uncomfortable with Jalen Hurts, that could very well be true. I'm not refuting that. I'm not saying, where the hell did Derrick come up with that? That might be true. And you're pointing to evidence of, they did try and go out and upgrade the quarterback position during the offseason. Speaks for itself with Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson. I'm just not sure that I would have gone down the road of, and in a 10-play session, no, it didn't happen. Even if someone else said it happened just to try and make a point, I would edit that out of my conversation. I would not put that into mine and say, this is what somebody told me. I'd do them a favor by taking that out of the discussion, because it didn't happen. And yeah, it was probably hyperbole just to try and make a point. Don't use somebody else's hyperbole when you're describing what you're getting as far as information goes about the Eagle quarterback situation.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I can't speak to someone's hyperbole or someone's, phrasing. I just know from a personal level, and again, 28 years of attending football practice, that's not how 7-on-7s in the off season work. I mean, that's and someone texted me right away, and that was, imparted to me as well. And AJ Brown went on Twitter, and people can, AJ's obviously very close to Jalen Hurts, and they're very good friends, for people that don't know. So he is going to always defend him, but he was over the top in the defense because that's not how OTAs work. That's not how 7-on-7s work.
Right. And the thing that impressed me most about AJ Brown was making historical Eagle references. That 3 touchdowns.
How about
to me,
Vince Papale?
4 fighting plays between T.O. and Donovan McNabb, and Vince Papale coming off the retired list to make 3 grabs. Good for you, AJ Brown. I didn't know you had such a grasp of Eagles history. And yeah, he's always going to take Jalen Hurts back. Number 1, because he's the quarterback of the team he's going to play for. And number 2, they've been buds for years.
But the bigger part of this, and I want to emphasize this, Jody, is people in the organization being uncomfortable with Jalen Hurts. I think that's true. I think that part of it's true. I think that part of it is understandable as well. And we just talked about it a little bit with Mike Gill. There's a big decision coming up sooner rather than later. Even if you want to kick the can down the road, it's still coming up. The clock is still ticking, and you got to make a decision. And if someone changed the rules, Jody, and the Eagles had to make that decision today, and I'm going to put a percentage on it, I would say 98% they're not extending them. Not extending them. If they were forced to do it today and make a decision, which luckily they don't have to, so that, there's a lot of question marks, I would phrase it as.
Right, but here's the key to me. The key guys who will be in concert with making the decision of going forth with Jalen Hurts, they've already made it this year. He's their quarterback. Did they inquire on Russell Wilson? I believe they did. Did they investigate Deshaun Watson and the possible? Oh, yeah, I think they did. So you can certainly read into that they are not 100% married to Jalen Hurts, but they've made the decision. At some point, you have to make a decision. They've made the decision for this year. Jalen Hurts is their guy. They're going to have to make a decision for next year. We need to see what he does this year. Nobody would make that decision ahead of time, or at least the way that Jalen has played to this point has left them saying we need to see more before we make the decision because they can wait.
Yeah,
what's Howie Roseman think?
Yeah.
What's Nick Sirianni think? The Eagles have people at practice and assistant coaches and scouts and other front office personnel and the like, and don't know who Derrick Gunn was getting his opinion from that was shared with him. If it wasn't Sirianni and it wasn't Howie, I'm only going to put so much credence to it. Those are the two guys. They're the movers and shakers. And with the quarterback position, Jeff Lurie will also be heard from. And I'm guessing that's not the guy that Derrick was talking to that gave him the opinion.
Hey, you never know. Deep Gunn's plugged in, man. You never know. And Jeffrey probably wouldn't have he should, but he probably wouldn't have the best handle on how practice is run.
Right. That was one of the reasons why I don't think it was Jeff. And oh, by the way,
maybe it's Julian. Maybe it's Gardner Minshew. Ed Kratz brought that up to me. Maybe Gardner is trying to create issues. How about that? We could start that, Jody.
Yeah, go ahead.
I see Mark Farzetta.
You go ahead and do that.
I'm joking. Gardner.
Unknown sources tell me. Yeah, no, not.
No, I'm joking. I hope people realize that.
All right, he's John McMullen. I'm Jody McDonald. That makes us Mac and Mac here on Birds 365. We're bringing another JAKIB Media guy to the forefront. He is the host of the Eagles postgame show. Did a great job with it last year. Going to be doing it again this year. I've known this knucklehead for too many years. I haven't talked to him in a while. Looking forward to doing just that. Mark Farzetta joins us next here on Birds 365.